In the rural town of Willow Creek, nestled deep in the desolate heart of America, stood a forgotten place. The town, surrounded by dense forests and veiled in perpetual mist, was known for its eerie silence and haunting tales. One of its most infamous landmarks was an abandoned hotel, once a luxurious retreat, now a decaying monument to fear. At the heart of the hotel's sinister reputation was Room 404, a place of whispered horrors. Stories about Room 404 had become legends in Willow Creek. Locals spoke of blood-curdling screams, shadowy figures, and guests who vanished without a trace. The room was said to be cursed, a portal to something unholy. No one dared to enter, let alone stay in it. One day, Ethan, a renowned writer and paranormal investigator, arrived in Willow Creek. Ethan had built his career and fortune on uncovering supernatural phenomena. However, his success came at a terrible cost. His obsession with the unknown had driven away his family and left him teetering on the edge of sanity. The hotel's new owner approached Ethan with a proposition: uncover the truth behind Room 404 and help lift the curse that plagued the hotel. In exchange, the owner promised Ethan exclusive rights to the story. For Ethan, this was more than just another case. It was a chance to redeem himself, to find purpose again. When Ethan arrived at the hotel, he was greeted by an unsettling atmosphere. The building's facade was weathered, its windows cracked and dark. The once grand entrance hall was now filled with dust and cobwebs. Inside, the air was damp, and the hallways were cloaked in shadow. Room 404 was at the end of a long, narrow corridor. Its battered door bore deep scratches, as if something had tried to claw its way out. On his first night, Ethan meticulously inspected the room. It was sparsely furnished: an old wardrobe, a dusty desk, and a chair in the corner. The wallpaper was peeling, revealing strange, almost runic symbols underneath. The room seemed ordinary, until midnight. Ethan was jolted awake by the sound of a child's laughter. The sound echoed eerily within the room. He sat up, his heart pounding, and scanned the space. There was no one there. Then he heard a faint tapping coming from the wardrobe. Cautiously, Ethan opened it. Inside, he found a single, dust-covered teddy bear. The air grew icy, and his breath became visible. A chilling whisper filled the room. "You are not welcome here." The next day, Ethan began to piece together the room's history. He discovered that Room 404 had been the site of several mysterious disappearances over the decades. Guests who stayed there either vanished or were found dead under inexplicable circumstances. One chilling account spoke of a family who checked in but never checked out. The room was sealed for years until the hotel's new owner decided to reopen it, hoping to dispel the myths and attract business. Ethan tried to rationalize the experience, attributing it to exhaustion and his overactive imagination. But deep down, he knew the room was more than it seemed. Over the following nights, the room's sinister nature revealed itself further. Ethan experienced vivid nightmares of shadowy figures standing at the foot of his bed. Objects in the room moved on their own. A chair scraped across the floor, the wardrobe door creaked open, and the teddy bear appeared in different locations each morning. Ethan's journal chronicled his descent into madness. He saw apparitions of his wife and child who had died years ago. The room tormented him with visions of his greatest fears and regrets. Every attempt to leave the room ended with him inexplicably back inside it. Weeks later, Ethan vanished. His belongings remained in Room 404, but there was no sign of him. His disappearance drew the attention of Sam, a skeptical journalist who specialized in dark and mysterious stories. Determined to uncover the truth, Sam traveled to Willow Creek. When Sam arrived at the hotel, he was struck by an inexplicable sense of dread. The moment he stepped into Room 404, the air felt heavy, almost alive. That night, strange events began immediately. An old television in the corner flickered on by itself. The screen was filled with static, but within the static, a shadowy figure emerged, staring at Sam with hollow eyes. Panicking, Sam unplugged the television, but the image remained. The figure mouthed 3 words, "Still here." The next morning, Sam reviewed his recordings. The shadowy figure and its haunting message were unmistakably captured on video. Determined to find answers, Sam delved into the hotel's history. He learned that decades ago, a family had mysteriously disappeared in room 404. Ethan's disappearance fit the same eerie pattern. Among Ethan's belongings, Sam discovered a journal. The entries were erratic, filled with incoherent scribbles and desperate pleas for help. One entry read, "The room knows. It sees everything. It feeds on our fears." Sam resolved to confront the room's dark power, but as night fell, the room's sinister energy grew stronger. Lights flickered, furniture moved on its own, and whispers filled every corner. Sam began to see the same visions Ethan had described. He saw his late father, who berated him for his failures. The room exploited Sam's deepest insecurities, unraveling his mind piece by piece. Desperate to escape, Sam tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. He screamed into the void, demanding answers. That's when Ethan appeared, gaunt, disheveled, and barely human. Ethan reached out his hands and whispered, "You can't escape. It's already too late for us." Days later, Sam was found wandering the streets of Willow Creek, muttering incoherently about shadows and whispers. The townspeople avoided him, believing he carried the curse of room 404. Sam left the town, but the horrors of the room followed him. Every shadow, every creak, every flicker of light reminded him of the room's unrelenting grasp, and so room 404 claimed another victim.